go to Porto Velho in Amazon, then you go to Belém, and you come back to Porto Seguro, and then to São Paulo. Okay, in this round trip, it will take kind of a 9,724 kilometers. You know, it's far. It's a big, huge country. Okay. Second point. Brazil has a crazy biogeography. You know, we have a kind of six biomes: Amazon, Caatinga, that is dry forest; Cerrado, that is savanna; Pantanal, that is wetlands; Atlantic rainforest, that are rainforests; and Pampa, that are grasslands in South Brazil. Actually, it makes six different biomes. But when you think Pantanal, Cerrado, Atlantic rainforest, and you can name six bioregions. But if you look at the Amazon, you need to split. If you look at birds, you need to split Amazon in many other nine more regions, bird region, like Imberi, Jaú, Tepuís, Guianas, Belém, Tapajós, Xingu, Rondônia, and Mambari. Each one is divided by huge rivers where the birds can't cross the river. So we have different birds, one margin, from left margin, from right margin, you know. Now, first point. Brazil has, at this point, in Brazilian Committee records of ornithology record, 1,919 species, bird species. The new list is coming, and perhaps we'll put kind of a 60 more bird species. Well, we have lots of species. We have lots of tanagers. Also, Brazil has lots of endemics, birds that just occur in Brazil, kind of 215 endemics, like a cherry-throated tanager, a very rare and difficult to see birds. Black-capped pipits, a bird from the high mountains. Pink-tailed manakin, just amazing bird from Atlantic Rainforest. Black-hooded ant-wren is an ant-wren that lives in the lowland Atlantic forest. Redneck tanager, seven-colored tanager. Brazilian ruby, a kind of a nice bird. Maroon-faced parakeet, lots of endemic parakeets. And that's the list go all straight around for 215 endemic species. example, there are dozens of great birding places less than 4 hours away from the major airport. You fly to São Paulo and then drive 4 hours. You have lots of amazing birding places just a few kilometers, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers from São Paulo, from so Brazil is a huge country, but a first step, a first feed from Brazil, Atlantic Rainforest could be a good option. You know, those birds, you can take a photo less than 100 kilometers from São Paulo. Same of this. This one, I took a photo just inside the city in São Paulo, just in the city. This amazing bird. Lots of them migrate. Some of them migrate through the parks inside the city. This one was we found the and this is amazing. It's kind of let me see, oh, well, of that big and have a great sound. His name is Bellbird. Very high. His mouth. Look at that throat. There's a lot of energy put in sound. It's a just amazing bird. And it was inside São Paulo metropolis. Well, these are amazing tanager. This actually is a pipridio. It's not a tanager, but we call it ngara. This they are making a courtship. This is the female. Those are the male. To show the red cap, the red cap, yeah, the red cap to the female, and they dance, and then the female choose one. Birds are really smart. The females make the decision. It is really a proof of evolution, a proof of superiority of the birds against the humans. This is a tanager. It's as amazing. It looks like it's called magpie tanager because it looks like a magpie. One of the Paris in France museum, and this bird, even being a tanager in the museum, his position is like a magpie position. This is crazy because it's actually a tanager. I like this bird. This is Royal Flycatcher. I don't need to know to say you why this is the Royal Flycatcher because it has this amazing crawl, and it lives just inside the forest, nearby the rivers, and never shows the crawl. Sometimes Pipiling Guam. This is amazing bird. Very, very rare today because it used to be shoot. People love to eat this bird. Now there are conservation programs taking care of this bird. It's a huge bird. It's a cressida. It's a huge bird, and very important for seeing the forest. Take a look. It is over a palm tree. This is a palm tree. Those are fruits of the palm. This bird plants all forest. It's very important ecological balancing, and it's just amazing bird. Saffron Toucanet. I love this toucanets. Not too big, but very unique birds. We are going to the end. if we don't have enough reasons for go to Brazil, let's try one more. Well, Atlantic Rainforest have a great, not as big. I'm talking about mountains, but I look my friend from Nepal. Okay, these are not mountains, just small hills, I must say. 1,000 meters, not more of this, 1,000, 1.5 thousand meter. Not really mountain if you look this from Great Nepal or Asian mountain. But for us in Brazil, they are very important. Why they are very important? They create a gradient, a very strong gradient that changes all the birds from the lowlands, from the highlands. Look at that. Black-cheeked nut-eater and Rufous nut-eater. You can see those totally different, same genus, totally different species in a range of 5 kilometers. And here, tufted antrike or large tail antrike was in the high mountain, the other one in the lowlands. Same of those greenback trogon and Srukua trogon. Each high has each species, one in the highlands, the other one in the lowlands. As those birds show to you, they are found less than 4 hours away from São Paulo. Okay, São Paulo is far away. São Paulo is really the other side of the world. Here, morning. For you, it should be. But if you fly to São Paulo, once you are in Paulo, you are really near of those birds. That is one reason I think the Atlantic is a great place to start to understand the huge continent that is my country. As the first slide I showed you, Brazil is a huge country, lots of problems, but lots of crazy, amazing birds. And one of the best things, we did a great work to promoting bird watching as a culture to Brazilian people. So wherever you go in Brazil, there are lots of local people birding. I mean, it's not a small industry focused on foreign people. No. Today, bird watching is part of culture in Brazil. People love to bird in Brazil, you know, and love to receive birds from around the world. So take a look at that. This is a São Paulo distance range. From in São Paulo area, you can find 565 species. That is in Paulo count 565 species. Go further, 100 kilometers. The numbers go to 662 species. Okay, you take a car and drive a little further, 200 kilometers. Then your species numbers grow to 742 species. Okay, today I'm really hungry to drive. I take my car and I drive 400 kilometers, kind of 4 hours, 6 hours. All great roads. You can reach 829 species from some. Well, I think this is a small and with some legs, with some problems. But this is my presentation for you on the Asian bird about Atlantic Rainforest in Brazil. And be pleased to answer any question you might have. And thanks for watching.
Thank you, Guto. That was amazing presentation. Show us so many beautiful bird pictures. When you show them so fast, I was saying, wait, wait, wait.
I can show it again, very slow. Oh,
It's
sorry about
beautiful,
that.
amazing pictures.
Mike, come to Brazil and we can spend kind of 2 hours with each of those birds.
Yeah, we all want.
Well, I'm gonna wait. That's it's a fantastic presentation, Guto. That's really amazing birds. But the questions wise, I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I think with so many birds, you're only showing the birds of the Atlantic rainforest, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think for the next 4 weeks, you will be the guest speaker to introduce the whole Brazil to us.
Okay. You get pleasure. But if you if when we can go, you know, the idea is to show the biodiversity, and then we can talk about some several families. I pinpointed some families that I really love. Cotinga is one of my. I think Cotinga is an endemic family of South America. Also Tanager, also um ant birds, and yeah. So South America at all, we call it the empire of birds. Brazil, along with Colombia and Peru, Ecuador, and Argentina, and the others, friends from um, our continent, has almost 1/3 of every single species of bird in the world. Uh, South Empire, El Imperio, would say my friends in Colombia, El Imperio, because you know, as South America is isolated from the whole world by a small point in Central America, that made lots of birds very, very specific, very, very endemic. And the greatest variation of habitats always in South America, from the high ends to deserts in Colombia, highlands deserts to Patagonian steppe in Argentina, to Andean cloud forest in Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador, to savannas in Brazil, to dry caatinga in Brazil, to also Chaco. Chaco is an amazing place to go in Paraguay. You must look careful to the Paraguayan birds. They are really amazing, really amazing, and very, very different endemics. And you know, South America uh, uh, as a one bird unit, because birds don't respect political division. Birds unite the world. South America as a destination is is a must for every bird in the world. Should I start in Brazil, Atlantic Rainforest? In my opinion, is a good option. Most of people start in Colombia or Peru. Why? Why? Because they are near the to U.S. market, uh, U.S. Airport hubs. That's very important. But Atlantic Rainforest in Brazil has lots of specialities that you know those birds are here. No, I'm so sorry. I would like that bird be around the world. We don't want to keep this bird for us. We want to share the birds, but well, the birds choose to live here. They are built on our forest. Evolution did it. If you have a question, ask Darwin. Charles Darwin is the guilt, not me. Okay.
We have a question from Luan Fuentes from the Philippines. Luan?
Yes. Hello, yeah. This is more of a curious question because for the birding world, one of the, let's say, superstars uh, in terms of birds in Brazil would be the hyacinth macaw, right? Because it's the largest parrot in the world. It's charismatic. It's beautiful. The plumage. So my curious question is, how is it doing in terms of conservation status?
Well, I can put this in two situations. Okay, we have a long term. We have amazing conservation work being done on these birds. The individuals numbers grow a lot from, let me say, 20 years now. Okay, there is a person, a woman in central Brazil, in Mato Grosso do Sul, named Neiva Guedes, and she did a really amazing work of conservation for those Jacintin macaw. It's great work. Now, all this work faced threats with lots of wildfire on his area. And so I can say you, in 20 years, we Brazilians did an amazing conservation work on this bird. And also there is another, perhaps the second largest macaw parrot in the world, is the Lear's macaw. Lear's macaw is almost the same of Jacintin macaw, a little bit smaller and a different yellow details on face. And this bird, kind of 15 years ago, it was reduced to 400 individuals, 400. But now its number, due to conservation work, was increased to kind of 2,500, kind of this. Just amazing work. And we are all birders in Brazil, and I think in the world, are looking closely to the Spix macaw. The Spix macaw is a small macaw that have been um, totally, it's possible to say, extinct in the wild. You know, there is kind of 40 years of the last bird in the wild, full documented bird in the wild. And now there is a reintroduction program and this species has been bred, um, and its population. I'm not sure about the numbers, but it's kind of is reaching 200, mostly mostly captive birds, mostly totally captive birds. And now this year or next year, because of pandemics, it will be released again in the wild. Will be reintroduced, and this is great news for all birders and bird conservationists in the world.
Yeah, because I read the CNN story that said the bird from the real movie is now extinct, and that's the Sphinx macaw, right? So it's wonderful to hear that it isn't, that it's still there. Good to know.
Yes, it's good to know. For us, being friendly speaking, this bird has been raped from Brazilian forest to international traders. In parrot is an important trait. Is important, very. They take all the birds. I went to the place where the speaks macaw used to live. I went and I saw the trees with the nest of the speaks macaw, and all the trees are cut behind the door of the nest, so people can take the birds from the nest hole to sell for international traders around the world. This is a Brazilian problem? No, this is an international problem. This is a problem that there are people in the world that loves to keep birds in cage and collect hair, and this is a very difficult to deal with this problem. But some of those birds, actually 50 birds, are now a one step of being reintroduced. Habitat is still there. I went there. I'm actually in an NGO, which is BirdLife Brazil. SAB Brazil is the BirdLife chapters in Brazil. I'm proud to be part of BirdLife Brazil, and we went there to the place where I used to take the macaw, and the habitat is there. The birds aren't because they are raped, national traffic. But now, at least 50 of them, we are going to put back to the nature.
Thank you, Guto.
Andy
Yeah.
from Malaysia.
I'm Andy from Malaysia. I have 4 easy questions for you. Okay. The first one,
One by one.
when is the best time to visit Brazil for bird watching?
Well, remember my first slide, Andy. What I say in my first slide? Brazil is a fucking huge country. So the times will change. The best time will change depends where are you going in Brazil. Okay? Let me talk about specifically about Atlantic Rainforest. In Atlantic Rainforest, the best times is the springtime, right now. Here in my small farm, kind of 20 days ago, I can heard less than 150 of the birds I can heard now. So lots of migrants from the North Brazil arrive. All the birds are, making sacks. and they sing, they display, they are amazing to see. Now, right now, is the best time for coming to Atlantic Rainforest.
How many days would you recommend for a trip? How many days do you recommend?
For a trip.
Yes.
Okay, it depends in some question. Okay, in some factors. Actually, you can do a good Atlantic rainforest trip. Well, if you can do 2 weeks, you can see kind of a 600 to 700 species, you know. But if you are an executive, you are working in São Paulo, and you have just 1/2 day between meetings. Okay, no more executives flying today. All of them make it the meeting by Zoom, and that will have a huge impact on bird watching. But if you have half a day in São Paulo, uh, spend a half a day, and then you can luckily find a kind of 80 to 100 species. For a bird coming from Asia, it's best to a trip a little longer, and then because you have a long flight for reaching Brazil. So I recommend more than a week. Okay.
And for a 2 weeks trip, how much will it cost me?
Well, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. But I can send this information for you by email in few because actually birding guide. Sorry about that.
Oh,
I'm not a bird operator. I'm just a bird promoter. But Moroni is my friend. Basil is looking me with attention. He can help us. Moroni,
That's on.
hello guys. How much?
What's your
Well,
question?
How
Can you
much?
repeat your question?
money. People don't like bird. They like money. Uh, well, I must say, Andy, sorry about the joke. I must say, Brazil is not an expensive country. Okay, it's not expensive country. I think you can think actually. I am not the right person to say that. My friend, which are most guides can, but it depends on how you deal with your. But it's not expensive. 2 weeks. I will not say a number. I will ask, and then I send to Mike, and Mike
okay, not a
can.
problem. Okay, my last question to you. My last question to you is: you spoke a lot about forest birds. Do you have also waders in Brazil? Brazil? Can
Water
you
bird?
tell? Yeah, can you tell something about the water birds or shorebirds?
Shorebirds. Well, actually, we have lots of shore and pelagic birds. This time also is a great time to see pelagic birds. From São Paulo, you can go to São Sebastião or Ilhabela. There are seats in the coast, and then you take a boat, and then you can see match with 2 or 3 of albatross, lots of bobos, bobos. I don't remember the English name. Sorry, but those are pelagic birds. Shorebirds uh, we have it's not the best place for seeing shorebirds, the Atlantic rainforest. Actually, in South Brazil and the Northeast Brazil, we have a lot of mangroves and a kind of habitat we call restinga, which are sand and lagoons, coastal lagoons, where you can find huge flocks of birds that usually migrate from the Arctic, neo-Arctic birds that migrate to Terra del Fuego, to Antarctic. Those birds came to Brazil. They are crossing Brazil right now from September to November, and then from February to April, September to November, they comes down to Antarctica. And February to April, they comes up to the Arctic, and then you can find the Rufus. I'm sorry because I don't remember the English names by by now. Okay, but you have lots of sandpipers and lots of migratory shorebirds. Most of them you will find in those specific Sois Maranhão and South Brazil. Lagoa do Peixe is really South Brazil. There are stopovers for those birds. All across the coastal area, you can find those birds, but the huge flocks with 10,000, 5,000 birds, you find mostly on this stopover, where those birds on the flyways, they make 1 or 2 weeks stopovers before continues the crazy migration from the North Pole to the South Pole. You have, actually three different flyways through Brazil: the Atlantic flyways, the near Andean flyways, and the Central Brazil flyway. Okay, most of them converge to South Brazil and Argentina before people comes to or before birds going to Antarctic. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
No more. Uh, Guto, a while ago you talked about the number of watchers in Brazil. What did you do? Is it still organized?
Yeah. Well, we have a great problem uh, to to reach the real birdwater numbers in Brazil. Let me say, most of you must be familiarized, must know a research of the Fish and Wildlife Service in US. This research point that one in each 5 North American peoples, 1 in 5 are bird watchers.
Oh.
This is US because they use a crazy way to define a bird watcher. Let me say, 1 in 5 people being a bird watcher. This is this market in US a kind of 80 billion dollars market. I look to that number and I see where is my share of this huge market. It's not coming to. Where are those 40, 40 million bird watchers in US? The problem is, what is a bird watcher? Okay, so we have the same problem in Brazil. I don't know where are my $80 million market. Okay, but how to estimate the bird watchers in Brazil? Research did some we also mixed research looking for main databases in Brazil. In Brazil, we have a social network of birds named the Wikiavis. Have you heard about that? Wikiavis is a crazy internet site. Actually, is the number one in the world in access. Number one in the world. It has today kind of 3.6 million photos. Users of this website are to the 35,000 people. Okay, those guys are bird watchers, as we know. But there are lots of others birding. Well, another proxy is one of the best-selling book about bird watching in Brazil. Sold kind of 30,000 books. So no one, no bird watchers will buy a birding guide. If a guy buy a birding guide, a book, I suppose he is a bird watcher. So putting all those together, along with Facebook group, having huge Facebook groups, kind of Birds of Brazil in Facebook has 35,000 people. FaceAves in Brazil has 25,000 people. That is a lot of people. All of them are superimposed, perhaps. All of them are have some user, perhaps. So I used to think Brazil has, in a conventional defined bird, 100,000 birdwatchers today. Okay, not all of them are client for tourism. Now, most of them, though they birding in the county area, goes to the rural, to the farms, to the small forest, and do birding around they count. But actually, if they start birding, it will not. So this number is still growing. That's how I see this situation today in Brazil.
Hello? Oh, that was a
Hello?
good presentation, Guto. Thank you. So before we go, let's take a group picture first.
Okay.
Yeah, can we ask everyone to turn on their video? Carlos, Washington, Babita, Johnny, Wash, VT. Okay. Job. Pakikam. Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Next week, our speaker is Washington from Kenya. Washington, please wave your hand. Yeah. So Washington will talk to us about the birds of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was a
It was
pleasure
nice
to talk
see
to
you
all of
again.
you.
Edson.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys.